Hey, Steeler Nation, welcome to Ask Mackenzie, episode 17. Thank you guys for being here week after week. You guys don't know how much I appreciate it, but let's get right into it. Oh my goodness, you guys. I am so happy right now. So beyond happy. I think you guys all know, everybody who's been here watching me week after week knows how freaking happy I am that we finally have Joey Porter Jr. as a Pittsburgh Steeler. The Nittany Lion in me is jumping up and down. But before we get into anything else, I would like to introduce a guest that we are going to have on today. Some of you guys all know very well. And I'm just gonna bring him in. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome in Mark.
Oh, g'day, guys. They're probably expecting Najee Harris or someone like that. You know?
No, come on. They have never seen Najee Harris on this channel before. Come on, but
or Kenny Pickett or someone. You know, I'm just a guy in his room talking Steelers. I'm no one special. What's going on?
Oh my God, no, everything's great. I'm so grateful that you're here back in the syndicate, and
it's like my old work. It's like I'm walking around where I used to tread these waters. You know, it feels a bit weird, but it's like, you know, it's kind of cool to be back. How's everything going?
It's been going good. It's been definitely a crazy past few months since I guess I've seen you last, but there's so much that has happened, Mark. I am just so ecstatic. I feel like I've never been this excited going into a season in such a long time.
Okay, I want to explore this thing because I've seen you on Twitter.
Yeah.
How happy are you about Joey Porter? Because he's your guy, right? He's your guy from I don't know what do they call the Nittany Lions, the Penn State, right?
We're the
So
Penn State Nittany Lions.
Did you go to Penn State College?
Okay, so no, I didn't go to Penn State, but I was literally born into a Penn State cheerleader outfit. My father went there, my brother went there, my sister went there. I unfortunately could not go there. It got expensive, man, and I was an athlete, and I wanted to swim in college, and I couldn't swim at Penn State. So I ended up going to South Carolina and swam there. However, I still was at a Penn State game every single year. We have season tickets. I've been going there literally since I was 1 year old. So that is my connection to Penn State.
So you love them. You love them just as much as the Steelers, maybe if not more, I guess. And this is
See, that is a very good question, because over time, I wasn't as involved with the NFL and the Steelers in particular. I think I was more involved with Penn State. And I think after I graduated college and I became a sports reporter, and I was really just diving into the world of just athletes in general and like what everything goes into just getting to the NFL, I just started to appreciate the NFL more and more because it is the elite of football. And everybody comes from somewhere. And I think over the years it changed. So now I feel like I'm more passionate about Steelers football. I think because in the long term, players are like, you're going to have a player for more than 4 years.
Yeah.
Whereas you would have, a guy come in for maybe like even 2-3 years at least, like, you know what I mean? So over time, it just kind of turned into like, Steelers are something that I can really get on board with for the rest of my life. And something.
And now he's a Steeler. Joey Porter Jr. is a Steeler. I saw a few things on the internet too with back when I was watching when I was a kid, and it was a few years ago now. But Joey Porter talking to his son, fantastic. Like, I used to love watching Joey Porter play when we're growing up in the early 2000s. But now that connection, because I've never watched any football of Joey Porter Jr., but I know the minute that he makes a interception or a pass deflection, we're going to get around him, man. And he's also wearing you hear about he's wearing 24 now too.
24.
Ike Taylor. Like,
yeah.
All these things are like it's all kept in house. The Steelers keep everything in house, from Ike Taylor to 24 to Ike Taylor talked about the other day with the group text and that kind of stuff. Like he said at the start, man, like it's a lot of fun right now. Like there is so much happening. It's crazy.
So crazy. And let's kind of dive back into draft night, right? Where nobody knew what was going to happen, right? Nobody knew. And I think after the Texans made that trade up to do back-to-back picks, it was like, all right, game on, game on, game on. Then the Eagles traded up for Jalen Carter. And it was like, oh my goodness, are we going to even trade up still? Are we going to wait till 17? And then bam, 14, Pats trade with the Steelers. And we're like, who are we trading up for? Who is it going to be? I think Joey Porter Jr. thought it was going to be him, but like, we love JPJ, love him, but I didn't think that we were going to trade up for him. I honestly thought when we traded up and seeing that Paris Johnson was already selected, I was like, it has to be Broderick Jones. It has to be him, because that is one of the things. I think that was the most important position that we needed to address in the draft, was protecting Kenny, having someone that can be there in the long run. And not to mention a back, you know how I feel about this, you guys, a back-to-back national champion with the Georgia Bulldogs. You guys, a championship mentality will be so effective when you come to the NFL. Not saying that it's going to make you a better player by any means, but just having that, knowing that you know what it's like to be on a winning team, they're going to bring something to the table that we've never really seen before. Mark, what do you think?
I was pretty excited too. Like when the trade went through, I was more thinking that at that point, cornerback position with like Gonzalez, but when you look back at it, it makes total sense. When they brought in Broderick Jones, and like I said, I don't watch college football, but you look at the sheer size of the man, you watch the highlights, you're like, this guy's ready to rumble. He's ready to go. And I think they did a perfect thing by bringing in a left tackle, because not only can he represent the number one overall pick, but he can also represent Steeler Nation. Now, nothing against cornerbacks or whatever, but they're, it's kind of like if you bring in a receiver, it's kind of like they can be more of a diva, right?
Right.
But by the Steelers bringing in a left tackle, that is showing the league and Steeler Nation that they're not going to muck around no more. No. They're ready to run the ball. The guy's 6'6" or whatever he is, right? You pair him next to Isaac Seumalo. You then go and get Darnell Washington, which we might talk about too. But you get all these guys, but he's going to be the face. He's the guy that's going to get the Primati sandwich. He's the guy going, into the airport, seeing Franco and all that kind of stuff. So nothing against if they were to choose Gonzalez, it would have been a great pick. At the same time, though, I think by getting him there, it's your guy for the next 5 years. And you've got g'day, Tucker. You've got Seumalo next to him for 3 years.
Yeah.
So they've literally they've changed the whole offensive line in 2 years. Remember the days when they had Trey Turner and they had Kendrick Green starting the whole year? It's so different now. Omar Khan, he's a Khan artist. He's a wizard. He's killing it, right? And when they got in then, I think that's pretty much saying to Kenny Pickett, hey, man, we got your back. We're going to ride and see what you can do. Run the football and just play physical football. Like the changing culture right now, they're bringing back the standard. Mike Tomlin always talks about standard, or they're bringing it back.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I think this just goes to show that ever since Omar Khan came into his role as GM, that he knew where the Steelers needed to get back to, right? So he knew that he had a job to get this organization to lead the road to getting to another Super Bowl, because we are due for another Super Bowl win. I don't know about you, Mark, but I think that we are definitely due for another.
There's to me, I don't know if they're going to win it this year. We have to win a playoff game first, and I will be one of the first ones to yell the loudest here in Australia. You'll hear me overseas. So I'm not saying that I don't want them to win. I'm just saying this year might be hard, but there's definitely a Super Bowl window, because if they have it now that where they've got the left tackle sorted for the next 5 years, they've got left guard sorted for maybe 3 or 4 years. If Mason Cole isn't the guy where they give him sign to a new contract next year, maybe they'll go into draft and get another guy at center. You got James Daniel, I think, for a 2-year contract, right? So they're really organizing the offensive line bigger and better for Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett goes into his second year. And this is the time right now where you don't have to pay Kenny Pickett, where you got all these guys on the team, and what Omar Khan brought in, 12, 13 players to come in to compete. And he said a few things too. He said a few things where he said they wanted to focus on the trenches on either side of the football.
Yep.
They did that.
Yep.
They brought in four. I think 4 or 5 offensive linemen with the draft, or 4 or 5, right, with the draft or free agency. And on the defensive side, they did the same thing.
Yep.
So, Steeler Nation, you have to be happy.
Oh, absolutely. and you talk about bringing in all of these players, right? We brought in, I think we brought in a total of 4 corners this offseason. We got JPJ, we got Patrick Peterson, we got
yes, 4
we
or
got
5.
we got a defensive back.
The other bloke too. There's one bloke out there, and your mate Joe on the Syndicate made a good video today. I watched about half of it, but no one talks about Shannon Sullivan. He's a forgotten man in Pittsburgh. The guy they signed, they signed him during the draft, and no one cared.
That is such a good point.
Go on.
I mean, I'm just over here sitting thinking like how many corners we have now and how that position is kind of like secured in the in sense of like depth and like men that we can hopefully, rely on if the first man goes down, right? So that was just another that was a position that I am happy that we addressed during the draft, especially. But now, so now we get, okay, so let's move on. So day one ends, right? There were talks of possibly trading up, right, at the end of the first round, especially after our first pick. Did you think that there was a chance that maybe we could have even drafted up from 32, or did you think that we were just going to play it safe, stay at 32? What do you think?
I didn't really know, because I think for like the 3 or 4 month speculation, you get your head in too many different rabbit holes. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You go this way, you go that way. But I think they made the right choice in going Joey Porter Jr. there. You obviously needed the cornerback, and it was the best of both worlds, because not only did you go and get your left tackle by moving up, you then got the cornerback position at 32, and I think I tell you what, a little bit of it. The overall hype, I think, of Joey Porter Jr. coming back to the Steelers and that connection killed it for me a tiny bit sometimes, right? Because that's all we heard about was that, you know what I mean? It was always like, oh, he has to go there. So I didn't really look into him too far. But like I said before, the minute that he catches a pass or like he plays a massive tackle, the Steelers going to do the right thing behind him, because even Patrick Peterson talked about it on his podcast the other day, that he's excited to work with him. So this, in reality, getting a guy like that is a young rookie, is connected to the Steelers with his dad. Yeah. It's the best move out of maybe in the draft. But every freaking move, every single move in this draft just made sense, didn't it? Left
absolutely.
tackle, Joey Porter fell. Defensive tackle, Washington then fell by trading back. Like, everything just made sense. And then we got the Herbig brother. So yeah, I think at that time, it was like, I don't know who they're going to go. I had no idea. There was so many different options. But I'm glad they went Joey Porter Jr., because now he can, like, obviously he's connected to Porter, but he can write his own story. He's ready to write his own story. He's ready to be his own man. He's ready to go out there and show Steeler Nation what he can do.
Absolutely, Mark. I totally agree with that. And that is why I'm even more excited, is because there is a chip on his shoulder, in a sense that he knows who he is and what he has to do and what he does bring to the table. So I think that bringing in Patrick Peterson first, knowing that I think Patrick Peterson knew that he was going to have to mentor somebody, but the fact that he'll be able to mentor now Joey Porter Jr. is something that I just feel so happy and complete about, because it gives me all the hope that, people were also saying Joey's numbers weren't there in college, right? It gives me hope that Joey will be able to prove to all the haters that he was the right selection for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I want to just I just want to note this one comment from Pittsburgh Toddy. I see these videos on social media now, right? You all see the video of PZ consoling JPJ after the first round of the draft. You guys, this was, I think, I say everything happens for a reason. I think we were placed at 32 so we could get Joey Porter. I think just in the sense of knowing that every other team in the draft that picked, they had their players that they needed more, right? And the fact that Joey Porter Jr. didn't even go in the first round showed that it was all meant to be, right? And when PZ was consoling his son, you could see Joey Porter Jr. was very, very upset. He thought that he was going to get selected. And I just think this just goes to show that we have an angry Joey Porter Jr. who's motivated more than ever. So if that doesn't give you excitement, I don't know what does.
You know why? If you say everything happens for a reason, Jed over brings it up. What I'm trying to say, it's thank you, Claypool. The reason that and actually it's when this kind of started was with Omar Khan made the move, or they made the trade to move on from Claypool. Said, see you later, mate. And Claypool's that bad of a receiver. He's one of the worst ones I've ever seen. A lot of guys out there know I can't stand him. He is probably the reason why we got 32. He went to the Bears, didn't win a game. Right? I think he lost in like 2022. I think like 15 games or 14 or something like that, 14 games, because we lost games with him on our side. So
Right.
Claypool was the very start of all this stuff.
Yes.
By him by trading him away, getting back the second pick, the Bears then fell all the way down the bottom after 0-8 like losses. Done. See you later, mate. Catch you, goodbye. And then I put it in the best position to be like, okay, we're 32 now. Technically a first rounder, but still, the 32nd pick, whatever. And then Joey Porter falls to us. It is like a match made in heaven. So
yeah,
I'm excited to see one day, whenever we do versus the Bears, if Claypool's still around, that I want to see Joey Porter Jr. cover Claypool.
Yes,
that's what I want to see. That is like I want to go to that game and just eat popcorn. I wouldn't even watch the ball. If I was at the game, I wouldn't watch the ball. I'd just watch Joey Porter Jr. cover Claypool and be like, let's go, man. Because that's funny to me. Like the guy is awful. We got rid of a problem. TikTok star, whatever he is. We then got a guy who represents Pittsburgh, and his dad's Joey Porter.
Yes.
What more can you want? Exactly. Dante says Claypool led us to having this draft. Thank you, Claypool. That's the best thing he's ever done. It's the best thing he's ever done.
Oh my goodness. No, isn't it just funny because it's like this all goes back to Omar Khan being the con man. That move was incredible. Nobody knew that would lead to where we are today.
I got slandered. I got yelled at by some people saying Claypool's. We should have traded Deontay. We should trade that guy. No, look back at what Claypool's doing, man. He's the weakest receiver I've ever seen in my life. And when I say that, he's a big fella. He can. He's big, tall, whatever. But he's weak. He hasn't got no strength in his body, no strength in his mindset. His ego's weak. He points down. He's all about himself. He's just so much about him in TikTok. We don't need that. We don't need that. We need guys like Allen Robinson, George Pickens, who want to go in there and fire up and push someone over. So by Claypool losing, got us to 32, and look where we are now. Super Bowl window is wide open.
Exactly. And this is why the Bears got conned. The Bears got conned. Pittsburgh Toddy, this is hilarious. Thankfully, the Bears didn't understand Claypool's relationship with gravity. Yeah, because Omar Khan's a con man and we conned the Bears, literally.
I like what J Devil said too. I saw J Devil write that the other day on someone else's podcast, and we had a concrete draft. Exactly right.
Concrete. Oh my God, I love that. It was so solid. It was concrete.
But you know what? Also, I want to give a shout out to also the scouting staff, and I think Merrill Hodge is in there too. I think he's in the Steelers scouting staff. Ike Taylor's in the scouting staff too. So what the Steelers have been doing over the last few years, in my view, is bringing blokes back that are Pittsburgh guys. And that's going to help the team. Of course, look, they're not going to fire Tomlin, but he's a Pittsburgh guy. Omar Khan's been there building, for 20 years. He's a guy. They brought in now Andy Waddle, who helped out Philadelphia fantastically. He's come over. It's like they're all on the same page. Did you watch the War Room, or like the draft room where everyone's so excited shaking hands? They're pumped up. They know what can be expected this year in 2023.
You should have seen my reaction. I was literally doing a live stream, and I was like, oh my God, they're smiling. He's on the phone. They're clapping. They're shaking hands. This looks so excited. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, it has to be Broderick Jones. It just has to be. Like, who else would you get so excited? I mean, no offense to JPJ, love you, bud, but you weren't going first. But you know what I mean? It was so exciting to see how hyped they were. I'm like, they're doing it, man. They're doing it.
It's even like a kind of like a controlled hype of confidence, if that makes any sense. You know, when Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin were at the desk, You watch that interview or
So
the
the pre-draft interview.
yeah, or
They're
even yeah,
calm.
just calm, confident, even after the first
Confident.
pick or whatever.
Yeah.
They're smiling with one another, they're laughing.
Yeah.
The reporters were asking Khan, how does it feel to be GM? And they're both going, I've been here for 20 years, mate.
Yeah.
Like, I know what to do. That
Yeah.
confidence with the coaches is going to. I know if I went into a workplace, if I was a football player and I went in and I said, and Mike Tomlin's confident, I would be confident.
Oh,
They have
yeah.
confidence in me. So this team's turning around. I think in a short year of Big Ben or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Now the rebuilding phase. They're still rebuilding, but they're
Still.
going in the right direction. This team is confident, man.
It's
They're,
so
they're
it's
fired
so
up.
confident, and like let's just go into a few more of the guys that we added, right? So we ended up getting Keanu Benton from Wisconsin, right? It's another dog who will be at the line to in the trenches. Literally, we talked about the trenches earlier, right? We got a man, we got a dog that will be there doing the thing for us when we need it. We also added another guy that I was really hoping that we would get. All of you know I love family. I love keeping the family together. Herbig. The fact that Nick Herbig was still there when he was selected, I thought that we were going to end up getting him in like the 3rd or 4th round. And the fact that we got him when we got him, I was like, holy cow. Did he fall in the 4th or 5th? I thought it was the 5th
I
round.
think he went. The guys in the chat might know, but I think it was 4th.
It might have been the end of the 4th. It might have been
Yeah,
the end of the 4th. So whatever. The fact that we have Nick Herbig, okay, and not only is Nick Herbig a brother to someone on the team, but he came from Wisconsin. People are comparing him to TJ Watt in the sense of the way his mentality, the way he plays, his aggression. I am so excited to have this guy on our team. Mark, what do you think?
Just before I go into that, did you see what George wrote about your dog? Tucker's a dog.
Tucker, you're a dog, man. Come
You're
here,
a
brother.
dog, Tucker.
Come on, Tuck. You're a dog. Come here. Come on, dog. He's hungry.
No, like I don't like. I always say it, and I probably say it too many times. I'm not a draft guy. I'm not a draft guy. I have no idea who these blokes are, right?
Yeah,
But
right.
Tucker's a dog. But like the connection again. So hopefully, if I would hate to see Nate Herbig not make the team, and and then the other guy does. But if he does make the team, it's that this is how the Steelers do things. This is why we are so successful, right? We get bloodlines in. We have Connor Haywood and Cameron Haywood. We had the Edmonds brothers. We had 3 at one stage.
Yeah.
You had TJ Watt and Watts in there.
Yeah.
It's what they do because I know for me, if I was playing with my brother football, I would want to go to war for him or with him,
Yeah.
We're playing this game. So it's a very similar mindset. There's nothing better. We have the Manly Seagulls here in the National Rugby League, and we have, I think, 3 sets of brothers or 3 brothers in one in that team, right? There's the 3 or 4 brothers. So it's good to see if he can play football and they're brothers and they're on the opposing sides. There's going to be a lot of smack talk. There's going to be a lot of confidence. And what way to cheer someone up or if they're on a Super Bowl run or they're on a playoff team run, right?
Right.
Then what better motivation to say, let's go win it for each other because in 20 years' time, we can talk about it as family. So remember that time in 2023 when we won it and the brothers did it. So, but as a skill thing too, I think he's going to play on the outside. I think he'll play behind TJ, play behind Highsmith, and be in Wisconsin too. That TJ Watt's going to help him out. You just know it right now.
Oh, absolutely.
You did say no, he's going to help him out. So everything they did was just win, 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 win.
Win. And I think that this is literally setting us up to get so earlier, you guys, we've talked about the division title. That is kind of where we are headed back, right? We need to get back to winning the AFC North. Knowing now what we know, Lamar Jackson's returning. He now has Odell Beckham Jr. Joe Burrow is still Joe Burrow, and they still got Jamar Chase. Do you think now the AFC North is the most competitive that it has been in the last maybe say 10 years? Yeah, I would. I mean, when was the last time we were competing with the Bengals, Browns, Ravens, all of it? I mean, what do you think, Mark? What do you think about?
I'd kind of say no, to be honest. I
No.
think it's been more competitive in other years.
Okay.
I still think like Steelers versus Bengals might be a new matchup. Like I don't think it really is Steelers versus Ravens anymore. Because I'll be honest too, I don't know if we're going to see Lamar Jackson. The amount of times that Jackson has played us, I think in 6 years is 2 times. Right? Started.
Yeah.
So I think he's played us 2 times or 3 times started. And he lost. He's won 1, lost 2, or something like that. So we haven't really seen Lamar Jackson to build that rivalry there. The Browns are the Browns. They've actually been really quiet this offseason. They've done probably the best thing they can with the Watson situation. In whatever way you see Watson's situation, they've been quiet, which has been good for them for once. I haven't heard too much about them going rah, 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 rah. The Ravens, to me, I think they will come forth, to be honest. I don't think they're going to do much.
Really?
I don't care. I don't care if you have Odell Beckham Jr. I think he's done. I think he's like done? I think he's like, when I say done, he'll get like maybe 400 yards, a few touchdowns. And like the key thing is for me for the Ravens is Lamar Jackson's got to stay healthy. Yeah. And by him being a mobile quarterback, running quarterback, right, he gets hit a lot. And he's injured a lot too. So the only real, like, I guess, rivalry I see then is like Steelers versus Bengals too. Yeah. Because they have our number at the moment right now. Joe Burrow is a very good quarterback. Yeah. The team's very good too, right? But I don't know if it's the same because I like the days of when it was Steelers versus Ravens and the Bengals and Browns were
their own little thing. Yeah. Yeah, they're just over there.
Yeah, you play by yourself over in the corner.
Yeah,
you know?
literally.
So maybe that's why I miss those days. Like I went and saw Steelers versus Ravens Christmas Day. It was an unbelievable game. Right?
You were at that game. You were at the game with one with a minute left, and it was like
AB over the sideline.
Bam, 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 touchdown. I'm like, oh my.
They scored with 2 minutes. The Ravens scored with 2 minutes to go.
And then Big Ben drove down the field.
Down the field.
Oh my God.
And also
I will never forget that day.
He found Eli Rogers too with one of the best catches I think I've seen ever on TV or in person, over his head, set it up. Then AB held the football over the line, and the next minute was I think 27-24. So I miss those kind of days of Steelers versus Ravens where it was decided by 3 points. Yeah. So that kind of football, right? So what do you think about the AFC North? I'm not too worried, really. I think the Steelers have a chance to go second or first. I don't think they're going to go third or fourth.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that they won't go third or fourth. However, I am getting a little scared only because, listen, everyone can say that OBJ is washed out. However, there have been talks about his knee and them saying that this surgery was everything that he needed because his first surgery didn't go as well. They went in there, something in there wasn't right. So it was kind of a good thing that he got a second surgery. Yeah, he's been off for a year, but again, OBJ is OBJ. He went to the Rams and literally took them to a Super Bowl. So I'm a little scared that he is back and better than ever, but that is just me. I hope I'm wrong because I want to see the Steelers just compete with the Bengals to get the AFC North title this year. So that is kind of where I'm at.
They have a chance. They have a chance with the AFC North. They just got to get over the Bengals. The Browns will take care of themselves. They'll do something stupid. They won't be around. They'll either be a 6-10 team or 6-11, what it is. I think the Ravens won't do as well. Actually, I'll stand on my statement. I hope they'll be fourth. But I'll let you know this too. So, did you know that OBJ has never scored a touchdown against the Steelers in 5 games? Ever. His receiving yards got worse and worse and worse because it used to be for the Browns. I think for New York Giants was 100, and it was like then 70, then 60, then 20, then 5. It got worse and worse and worse and worse every year. So I'm not too worried about OBJ with Minka back there. You look at the pass rush. Yeah. The pass rush this year is going to be insane. Even guys like DeMarvin Leal getting a second-year chance too is going to be nuts, right? These guys are going to be ready. Cameron Hayward again going to be there. So now Cameron Hayward has help on his D-line too. They've really sorted that thing out there too. So they're going to run him around. They're going to run Lamar Jackson around. They know how to cover him. TJ Watt loves to play Jackson. TJ Watt loves to play Joe Burrow. He's picked off Burrow so many times, right? Lamar Jackson has fumbled, I think, 5 or 6 times, thrown interceptions. So they know how to play the Ravens on offense. So I'm not too worried about OBJ getting open and torching us. Yeah. Because they have Minka in the backfield too. There's so many defensive stars that can take care of this bloke. But We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, I hope you're right, and I think you are right. I'm just kind of getting a little PTSD from last season, or no, 2 seasons ago when he joined the Rams. So, yeah.
Yeah, look,
So,
he's still a good player. He's still good, right? But he's not worth $18 million for one. We've got probably the better veteran player in Robinson.
Allen Robinson. They played together.
Yeah.
They played together.
And it's cheaper as well. And so I just think that the Odell Beckham stuff we talk about more than the name, I think, than the actual player's skill set. He's that catch has been looked at so many times.
His ego, it's an ego's trip. Yeah. He's on an
ego trip. I don't think he's going to go out there and torch us for 120 yards, 3 TDs. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen. Lamar Jackson can't throw the ball further than 20 yards anyway, so we're good.
That's funny. Oh my god. Okay, well, I want to get into some of these comments and answer some of these questions. Okay, so let's see. We talked about JPJ, and let's see. Okay. What did you say over here? Super Bowl, y'all better find a way to fly my boy Mark Sterling up here for it. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Vegas. That's Vegas, man. I'd love to go back to Vegas.
Oh my god, that would be cool, but I don't think it's gonna be next year. It's gonna be in the future. But we got Jared Dever making a comment on Broderick Jones practice against great competition on that Georgia defense. That is a great point. Oh, and another guy we forgot to mention. You guys, why didn't we talk about Darnell Washington? Darnell Washington is 6'7". He is huge. Joining the team with Pat and Zach, you guys. I am so excited. It's just like I can't. I'm just. So
and think about it too. Not only look, there's a bit of pressure on the rookie year, but think about this: if they play okay or play good this year, imagine next year when they get a full off season again. Right? We're talking about that. We're talking about next year where we could really be if we I hope we can win a playoff game this year. And if we lose the next one, fine. 2024 is going to be insane.
Oh yeah. I'm excited because I know this year is going to be significantly more
it has
improved.
To be.
Yeah.
It has to be, and it will.
It will. How can you not? It's what Derpy's saying. The Pittsburgh Steelers are due the reputation that we're due. 12 years since last appearance in big game, 14 since we raised number 6. The Steelers are due. We're due to do something special. It may not be this year, but this year is going to set us up for the next year where I really think that we can get the job.
I would be shocked if they lost, say, 11 games or if they lost 10 games. To me, right now, minimum, they're a 10-win team. Right now, with all the pieces, because they won 9 last year, they can win 1 more, and they have a chance to go the wild card and possibly the division if they turn up and play good football. But every single piece they've made in terms of their character, they're physical blokes, they really are. You look at all of them. You look at the middle linebackers; those guys are physical, can tackle. You look at Darnell Washington, physical, big bloke. Broderick Jones, big guy. Siamalu, big guy. Everyone's ready to go out there and punch someone in the head.
Yeah,
they're ready to go. Honest to goodness.
Derpy says we're more dangerous than we've ever been in the last few years, and that literally is what you just said.
And we want to see it too. Well, we're in the stage now. What are we in May? So we're training camps starting up, the rookie camps, the mini camps. We're going to build up that anticipation, but we're in the point now where just go out and show faith, show support for the team. If in the first game they're down by 10 points, it's all cool. It's all right. Don't sweat. Don't go to Twitter and say fire Canada, fire Tomlin. Ride the game out, and they'll probably win that game. I reckon they can win the first one. You know what I mean? We've got to cheer these guys on because I think Steeler Nation, we all agreed that this draft was A+. That's where we are right now. We've got all the places, all the pieces. Everything's falling. You said everything's for a reason. Everything's falling in the right order, isn't it?
I say the puzzle pieces are coming together, and I've been saying this all off season. I said this all off season. It first started with free agency. We got some pieces over here, and we were just waiting for these mesh of men to come into the puzzle from the draft. And now we put them together, and this is going to be a
think about this. Their first signing was Patrick Peterson, future Hall of Famer for the Cardinals and Vikings, and he says in his podcast he still got it. If that's your first signing, and that was Omar Khan's going, okay, we got Peterson, then everything all else fell. We lost Terrell Evans, we lost Cameron Sutton, and I talked about it before. The minute that Peterson does an interception, you won't even remember that Sutton was on the team. I'm sorry, you won't. You just be like, who? Sutton? Who? Who's that guy? Right?
Yeah.
No one. Snell's not there anymore. You don't care. the guys on the team right now are ready for a run or at least a playoff chance in the next 2 or 3 years.
Absolutely.
Dead set.
Absolutely. Derpy says, I know that team had defense Hall of Famers, but from the counting us out motive this offseason for the Steelers feel like 05 when they drafted.
They got better and they're still an underdog. Like they had the A grade, or the NFL is talking about A grade draft, and they're still saying that Steelers won't even be named. Kenny Pickett's not even named in like the top 10 quarterbacks. I get it because it's his second year, but they bring in Rodgers, they give him all the light, they give Jackson, Watson, all these blokes, and it's like if Kenny plays well and plays under the radar, it's probably the best spot for him right now for Steeler Nation too. You agree, Tucker?
I think he agrees. Tucker, do you think that Kenny Pickett is going to take us to an AFC championship? Do you think we're going to win this AFC North next year? Do you want food? Oh God. Claude says our biggest rival is still the Ravens. I think there's always gonna be that feeling when we play the Ravens.
Did you know? I'll tell you another fact too. Oh, another thing. I think it is. Did you know the Steelers have won, I believe, 7 out of 10 games? Do you know that? The last 10?
Wait, what?
Steelers versus Ravens. The Steelers have won 7 games out of the last 10.
That's incredible stats.
Is that a rival? I don't know.
But the games itself were so close. I feel like a lot of the time that we just got lucky. But I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's head to head. They've won 7 out of 10 games. So we have their number right now. We have their 6-4. It's very similar since like 2017 or whatever it is. But we have their number, so I'm not too worried.
I agree, and I think that we are flying under the radar right now. Derpy says Tomlin is sick of the disrespect we've gotten the last few years, and obviously Khan set the tone in the draft. So do you think that maybe I don't know. I still think that we're gonna still be ignored. Like even if we win,
always.
It's not until we do something big like win like 7 games in a row that they'll start talking about us.
Well. It doesn't matter because when you win 11 in a row, they called us a fake team. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Now, in that season, sure, when they won 11 in a row, they did end up, they got figured out near the end, and we lost. I think that was a playoff game. So they called us a fake team. So it doesn't matter if you win 7 in a row or you win 15 in a row because they're going to give you negative slack anyway. I feel like the media for the Steelers, they tend to get a lot of negative slack right now because there's no more drama. There's not much drama in Steeler Nation right now. Right, we have. Oh, actually, there was drama about. What did you see? Kenny Pickett doing the beer, and people were like, he can't have a beer on stage. What? Why not? Why can't he have a beer?
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Like he's just one of the boys, one of the bros. Like
you should be able to have a beer. Like it's what was 5 months away from football, 4 months away from football.
And the draft literally just happened the day. Like, what are you doing? We're not even starting the pre. You're not even starting practices. Camps haven't even started yet. Like, are you kidding me? Let the boy live. He's literally 20 in his mid-20s.
Yeah, there were comments out there saying this is going to affect him play. I can't believe he did this. Yada yada yada. And I was like, we have a saying over here, and I probably will butcher it, but it's have a cup of concrete and harden up. You know what I mean? He's allowed to have a beer. He's allowed to have a beer on stage. And that's when I see that stuff, when I see like Kenny Pickett going to stage AE, talking to Cameron Hayward, he's buying in. He's giving Steeler Nation time of day. He's going to a concert. You know what he could be doing? He could be at home chilling and staying with his partner and watching TV and Netflix and doing that stuff, right? He doesn't need to be in the public space. But him going out there, canning the beer down and seeing everyone Steeler Nation, he's saying, you know what? I'm here to play. He's being active. So, and everyone's like, you can't have the beer. It's like, he's quiet. They're crazy.
He's doing what he should be doing as a Pittsburgh
having fun.
Going out in public, interacting with people, showing people how much you love the city because we all know how much he loves Pittsburgh. And we all know how much he's willing to grow and what he's willing to do for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. So I really think that it's going to I really think
if he has that beer before a game.
No, that's questionable. Now that's questionable.
I'd still be like, let's go. You'd be right, mate.
Well, yeah, but it would he'd come, like everyone in the media would come after him if that happened. Like,
imagine if you did that. If you had the beer, like I don't know, the
what
night
if it was
before.
had water in it and he just like did it and like fooled everyone and was like,
yeah,
it was water.
So we're overreacting to that scenario with Kenny having fun on stage and the beer and that kind of stuff. Like he'll be fine. Yes, it's still a big year for him too, being second year, still being a young bloke. But I think he'll take the right steps to put the Steelers in the best position to win and not throw turnovers. And I think we can win on defense anyway. Big time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What does Steelers fans say? Well, the NFL is playing high flying, throw the ball all over the field. The Steelers,
they're getting back to it. Exactly right.
Football run, absolutely. Ragu says, tough schedule last year, plus injuries early, but second half of the year they started to show what a healthy team could do. Plus offseason plugging holes, good draft. Look out! Here we come. Here we go. Let's do this, you guys. I'm so excited. What did Mannings take? What was Manning's take?
Yeah, so I actually heard this from my mate, Matty Peverill, who we run Steelers Touchdown Under, another YouTube channel we do that with. And he actually made a good video today about it. So he was talking about Manning was saying that quarterbacks or young quarterbacks need offensive coordinators in the NFL to stick around. Pretty much saying, in a nutshell, you can't change 1, 2, and 3, 4 years because you're going to stuff up Kenny's progression. Now, the big takeaway from this is, well, half a Steeler Nation, we all want a Matt Canada fight, and that to me is, I still think it's the right thing to say. It's what we all felt, right? Sometimes you can't hold back your feelings, and Canada's system, it sucked. Like, it was just like boring to watch. But what he's saying basically is give Kenny a chance with Matt Canada, being the coordinator for
Glenn Thomas
for at least now for at least 2 years in a row. The thing is though, like I want to me right now, when we start September 15th or whatever, I am back to Canada. We're best mates. We're just normal. We're 0-0. I'll start again, mate. You can try show me something different. The big thing is though, with Canada's system, no matter how whatever you look at, the points went down 2 points every year. It was 6 points per game in 2021. That was his first year. And then in his second year, it was 18.6. So that's probably the key, the big thing. Don't worry about anything else. Worry about those two things. If your points are that low and they're going down again, then there's a problem. I don't think this year it's a personnel. I think if this year it doesn't work the way we want it to, the way we envision, it's really on Canada. If you're an offensive coordinator, McKenzie, and I gave you this team, you'd be laughing. Absolutely laughing. Austin, Pickens, big fella. Deontay Johnson, veteran guy. The other Robinson, Darnell Washington, 3 tight ends, Connor Haywood, two running backs who can run the ball, a brand new offensive line. If Canada can't figure this out and score points 25 plus per game, then his time's up, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Has to be.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't just sit here and say that all of these players are the reason that your offense stinks, because we sure know that's not true.
He talked about last year or the year before that he couldn't fit certain plays because of the personnel. I disagree with that statement. I think if you've got the personnel, you need to be the bigger and better OC.
Exactly.
Yes, not like, okay, these guys don't fit my system. That's the wrong attitude.
Of course.
If you've got all these players and you've got like a 6'7" guy and you can't figure out how to get him the ball, get him in open space, then Canada is the problem. That's why I liked how they brought in Glenn Thomas, because he worked back in the day. I think with the Atlanta Falcons and the quarterbacks coach with Matt Ryan, and they were winning games. They couldn't win in playoff games, but they were winning games 13-3. They were scoring the most points. So he might be a guy to look after. He might be an insurance policy on Canada. If Canada can't figure this out with a second year off season, with all these guys from last year's draft and this year's draft building up their own line, then Houston, we have a problem.
Houston, we have a problem.
Big time. Don't you agree? Like,
oh yeah, 100%. I mean, like everything points to Canada. If Canada being the issue, in the sense that, now I think he's aware of all the backlash that he's been getting. And I think that this season is going to be a restart for him, in the sense that he has Glenn Thomas. He has an offensive assistant coach with him, right? So he knows he has someone else to give a new perspective, a new look, a new creative mind into making these plays more efficient to run the ball on offense. Getting the ball down the field, throwing the ball down the middle of the field, and being accurate. Like those are things that we want to start seeing, not just your basic. I'm just going to throw the ball to the corner for like 10 yards and be happy.
They got better though. They got better in the second half where they did go 6-2, and they ran the ball. I think it was from 90 yards at that season to now 126 and 127. They got better. So they did. And there was one drive that kind of orchestrated where they did like 19 plays to go down the field, right? Yeah. So they understood how to control the ball, and maybe it was like growing pains during the start, and they held the time possession was like the 32nd in the league, and after the bye was like 17th or 16th, right? So they did get better. But the thing is, if you've got now 6 months, a whole offseason program, and you are meant to be offensive coordinator in the league, all these weapons, you need to design a playbook and a scheme and get your fellas ready to play. Because I think personal-wise, I think these players can win. They've shown that in college. But can Canada put all this together and score? Yeah. Like you have to score 25, 26 points a game.
Oh, yeah. And I'm even more excited on offense that we have. So George Pickens and Washington are reunited. They won one national championship together. So just seeing these
and Jones too, right? We've got half the Georgia Bulldog squad.
So Broderick Jones, Darnell Washington, and George Pickens are all won a national championship together, and they're all playing together again. You guys, I'm so happy with us right now. Like I love us. Like, nothing but good things nothing negative is going through my mind right now in regards to next season. Like, oh my God, we don't have like this.
No, me too. There's nothing. Everything I think that's been happening is been working out for our team and rebuilding the correct way. And the only thing I think would be really frustrating for Steeler Nation if we lose the first game like 40-0 or something like that, we'd be like, oh no. But I think it's going to be a good time. Like overall, they've made all the right moves.
Yeah, I agree. Well, time is running up, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Guys. Yeah. It has been 50 minutes almost of fun Steelers talk. Mark, is there anything else you want to say before we end today?
What do I want to say? Yeah, you know what? Okay, I just want to say let's enjoy the process. I think it's been really awesome to see Omar Khan turn things around, Andy Waddle, Coach Tomlin, pretty much the whole organization is turning things around now with the young Kenny Pickett and this offense. Like even the defense too. The whole team is I think in go mode. But we do need to see them win. We do need to see them compete. We need them to see them be physical. Yeah. So all this stuff is great, but we want to see that on the field. At the same time, though, even during the season, if they do fall 0-2, they do fall 0-3, trust the process and let's see what happens. We need to support our team at the end of the day. Just because if they lose the first one, the second one, third one, it's not over. They're not a bust. No one's a bust. Give them time. Look how they improved from the bye last year to then they went 6-2 and had a chance. And if Flacco won that game with the Jets, then we're in the playoffs. Now, do we win that game? Probably not. But I would say just trust the process, enjoy the season, enjoy minicamp, enjoy training camp. These fellas are going to get that, brotherhood back. Yep. Like there's so many individual storylines you can focus on, like Najee gonna go off, Warren undrafted guy. Look out for some other undrafted guys in the Steelers team. This team, I think, we are the dark horse. We are the ones that no one's really talking about. They still think we're 7.5 over under. Like this team is going to be, Steelers camp's going to be really interesting. Exactly right. So it's your American summer. Have a few beers, enjoy the process, have a few barbecues, and then before you know it, it's going to be kickoff.
Yes, only a few more months. Now the countdown just begins till, I don't know, are we going to count down till camp, or are we going to count down till the preseason, or are we going to count down till the season, day one in September? What do we count down to?
Schedule's next. We've got rookie minicamp coming up. Schedule comes out next. Then we'll know who we're going to verse week one. And it's like, it's just so much hype right now, but I think it's hype with confidence. It's not like a Browns false sense of security hype where they go and do the best draft and the Browns suck. There's pieces around this team that actually make sense. You know what I'm saying? That really makes sense.
Well, I
So
agree with everything that you just said, and I just look forward to continuing to talk about everything that we do week after week, adding to the team, making the team better, whether it be, just the little things. I just believe that we are
mhm.
doing it to become the best team that we've been ever. How about that, y'all? Why don't we just reach for the stars and say, let's be the best Pittsburgh Steelers that the Steelers have ever been? We're not going to be next year. Might be the year after, maybe. But hey, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly right. Got to
And
enjoy the process. Don't
enjoy the
just enjoy
process.
every day, enjoy every game, enjoy every Kenny Pickett slamming a beer.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I will leave it at that, y'all. Hope everyone enjoyed today's show. Thank you for tuning into the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. Thank you, Mark, for coming on. It was a blast. I enjoyed this so much. Hopefully I will see y'all next week. So with that, here we go, Steelers. Here we go. See y'all later. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.